The moment everything began to unravel was quiet, almost ordinary. A wooden utility pole stood on a calm neighborhood street, a missing child poster trembling in the breeze. The woman taping it was a powerful millionaire, but her hands shook. A small girl watched nearby, carrying a truth that would shatter her world. If you believe in compassion, hope, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more stories. Let's begin. The street looked ordinary in the way tragedy often does. A row of modest houses, bare trees, a wooden utility pole scarred with years of forgotten notices. Victoria Hale stood in front of it, smoothing a missing child poster with careful, trembling hands. The tape stuck unevenly, and she pressed harder, as if force alone could make the paper stay, and somehow make her daughter come back. The face on the poster stared at her. Lily Hale, 12 years old, brown eyes, a faint smile that once appeared only when she felt safe. Gone for months, Victoria had faced hostile takeovers, courtroom battles, and ruthless negotiations without flinching. She was a self-made millionaire, known for discipline and control. But here, dressed simply, standing alone, she felt stripped of every title she had earned. She refused to send staff, refused press. This was the last thing that still felt like being a mother. Cars passed. A neighbor paused, glanced, then walked on. Life moved forward without slowing for her grief. And in that moment, Victoria realized something terrifying. No amount of power could make the world stop and care. Victoria's memories returned in fragments, uninvited and relentless. She remembered Lily at 6, waiting by the window when Victoria promised she would be home early. She remembered birthdays celebrated late, apologies delivered over video calls, school events replaced by conference rooms. At the time, Victoria called it sacrifice. She told herself she was building a future so Lily would never struggle the way she had. She grew up hungry, uncertain, invisible. Success had become her armor. But ambition never announces its cost. It steals quietly. One missed dinner, one unanswered call, then years. When Lily stopped asking for her attention, Victoria felt relief instead of alarm. Silence was easier. Control felt safer. When Lily went to stay with relatives for a while, Victoria believed it was temporary. Then Lily disappeared. Panic shattered routine. Victoria flooded the city with money, investigators, reward funds, media outreach. Every system she trusted worked at full speed. Yet every night ended the same way. An empty home, a phone that never rang, and the growing realization that grief did not respect efficiency. Victoria stepped back from the utility pole, exhausted, when she sensed someone watching. A small barefoot girl stood nearby, thin, still. Her clothes were worn, but her eyes were steady. She wasn't looking at Victoria. She was looking at Lily. The girl spoke without hesitation. She said she had seen the missing girl before. Not on the news. Not on posters. In real life. Victoria felt the world tilt. Hope flared painfully, but it was guilt that broke her. The thought landed with crushing clarity. Lily might have survived not because of wealth or protection, but because strangers with nothing had chosen kindness. The girl didn't ask for money, didn't ask for thanks. She pointed, described places most people ignored, shelters, alleys, temporary beds, places Victoria had passed 1,000 times without seeing. Victoria followed her words, step by step. For the first time in her life, she didn't lead. She listened, and something inside her, something hardened by years of control, began to crack. The search that followed was nothing like Victoria's world. It was slow, messy, incomplete. Records were missing, names misspelled, staff overworked. She waited in lines, sat in plastic chairs, heard stories that made her chest ache. And finally, the truth surfaced. Lily was alive, but she was no longer the girl on the poster. She had learned silence as protection, distance as survival. When they met, there was no dramatic reunion. Lily didn't run forward. She stood still, studying Victoria with careful eyes, as if measuring danger. Victoria didn't reach for her. She understood then that love reclaimed too quickly could feel like another loss of control. Finding Lily was not redemption. It was responsibility. Trust would not return on command. It would come slowly or not at all. And for the first time, Victoria accepted that she could not negotiate her way back into her daughter's heart. Victoria reshaped her life quietly. No speeches, no headlines. She stepped back from ruthless ambition and redirected her influence toward child protection, shelters, and family services. Not as charity, but accountability. At home, she learned patience. Some days Lily spoke. Some days she didn't. Victoria stayed anyway. She showed up. She waited. She listened. She also returned to the girl who spoke up that day, Maya Turner. Not with praise, but with opportunity. Education. Stability. A future not shaped by survival. Years later, the utility pole stood bare in the sunlight. No poster. No tape. Victoria still visited sometimes. Not in grief, but remembrance. Because everything had changed the moment one small voice chose to speak. And Victoria learned the truth she had spent a lifetime avoiding. That love is not proven by what we build, but by whether we are present when someone needs us most. Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe to keep more unforgettable stories coming.